Hello, friends. This week we talk on entrepreneurship. And the topic has come up because I just did a one-day workshop for a few people who have family businesses and they wanted their children to know and learn about entrepreneurship. So took this opportunity to talk on that same topic. Hopefully, many of y'all will gain something from it. As I said in one of my previous episodes, a startup founder and an entrepreneur are essentially playing the same role. So it would be great even for people who are planning startups or who are in the startup business to listen to and follow this next two or three episodes very well. So an entrepreneur is someone who starts his own business, his or her own business. They're the ones who take and bear all the risks. But then at the same time, they are the ones who reap all the benefits and enjoy all, or at least most of all the rewards that that enterprise brings to them. It's not an easy task. Entrepreneurship is a hard job. But the rewards can well justify the effort, time, energy, stress that you put into it. As I said, in today's times, there is this huge tribe of entrepreneurs who are, for various reasons, called startup founders and not entrepreneurs. While we are not going to delve into that, let's move ahead and see what an entrepreneur needs. So, when we talk of entrepreneurship, we talked of startup founders also as being entrepreneurship. So let me just briefly talk of some of the different types of entrepreneurs that you will find. So the two obvious ones are the ones we spoke about. One is this tribe of startup founders who are more often than not online entrepreneurs. Okay, so that's one category, and that online entrepreneurship are people who basically create product or create services which are offered online most of the time. The second type of entrepreneurs are ones that we all know of and whom we all have always been calling as small business owners. They are entrepreneurs. And most of these people are into categories like retailing, running restaurants, running service centers. So these are entrepreneurs who run small businesses where they differ from a startup. In most cases, the startup is doing something unique and new, whereas these people are identifying an opportunity and trying to encash on that and make the most of it. In both cases, the entrepreneur, so now we'll refer to them as entrepreneurs. In most cases, these entrepreneurs are handling all aspects of the business, whether it is product development, whether it is marketing, whether it is selling, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is routine operational management, sales, finance, everything. And therefore, they need to be all-rounders. Okay, so that's a very important thing. And we're going to come back to that later because I doubt if there is anybody who would be a true expert at any of this. And therefore, they need help. They need people who are going to tell them what is the best. So beyond these two types of entrepreneurs, when you expand entrepreneurship, there are many other types of entrepreneurs. In fact, I would call an influencer also an entrepreneur. Also an entrepreneur. An influencer is using his or her clout on the internet through various social media platforms to sell things, to sell products, may not be their own product because they are in the service business. So they are entrepreneurs who are going to sell these things to the tribe that is following them on the net. Okay. And then we have finance investors. There are so many of them now who take money from you, from other people, sometimes a little bit or quite a bit of their own, and they invest in various opportunities they think will give them better returns than normal. So they're financial investor entrepreneurs. Even a tour operator, frankly, is an entrepreneur. So there are many kinds of entrepreneurships. But by and large, what we are going to focus on today is the first type and the second type that we spoke of. But bear in mind that everything that applies to them in some way or the other, maybe to a little lesser degree in some cases, to a much higher degree in some other cases, but it applies to each and every one of the entrepreneurs. And therefore, they would do well to listen to this episode, increasing my tribe. They would do well to listen to this episode, keep it in mind, and prioritize the different things as they think they need for their business. So there are some key characteristic, key traits that an entrepreneur needs, or key skills that an entrepreneur needs. Okay, and we're going to list some of them. First and foremost, he needs to be adaptable and have an open mindset. You cannot keep a closed mind and expect to succeed as an entrepreneur. You need to have the gift of the gab and a proper understanding of how to clearly communicate with anybody whom you are interacting with. That communication should be absolutely devoid of any ambiguity of any kind. They need to have a basic financial understanding. They need to be experts at time management. The amount of time that is required to start a new business of any kind is mind-boggling. And therefore, if you are not great at time management, you could well burn out very soon. They need to have more than a basic knowledge of marketing and branding. In today's world, everybody wants brands. It doesn't matter how well known the brand is. But a brand promises certain things, and that's what customers are looking for. And as an entrepreneur, you have to make it a habit to learn from every single thing that happens to you and comes your way. One may not have all of these skills. That is, I would believe, 100% is a given. But they should be able to judge and evaluate at what level they stand with each of these skills. And they should be able to find people with whom they can interact, whose support they can. It may not always be with financial involvement, but if necessary, yes, that too. So that wherever they are lacking, they can either train with that person and upgrade their knowledge and efficiency and ability, or they can use them as a sounder who's going to guide them to make sure they take the right decisions in that particular aspect. So let not your ego come in the way. You do not know it all. And the sooner you realize it, the better it is, because the faster you will find somebody who's going to guide you and who's going to help you take those calls that you will need. Time is very precious for an entrepreneur. But in spite of all the skills that we just spoke of, there is one skill that is required by an entrepreneur. And that is a skill that cannot be outsourced, nor is anybody going to be able to guide you through it. They might give you pointers, they will help you, but at the end of the day, it is something that you need to build and do inside yourself. So for founders, entrepreneurs to succeed and flourish, They must possess, as we said, a high level of adaptability, self-control, and sociability. These are key characteristics that an entrepreneur needs. And if you think about it, these are the same key characteristics, each and every one of them, which contribute to what we call emotional intelligence. And therefore, logically, every entrepreneur needs a highly developed emotional intelligence. And what is emotional intelligence, you might ask? It is the ability of a person to recognize and understand their own emotions, as well as the emotions and thought processes of those around them, those they are interacting with, and take those insights to make the right decision, to make the winning decision. Emotional intelligence helps individuals at every stage of the entrepreneur process, right from the idea generation, going to the development of the idea, going to the launch of whatever product comes out of the idea, and for the everlasting and sustainable growth of the business. At every stage, in some degree or other, the entrepreneur is going to require emotional intelligence. And therefore, we say that the entrepreneur must have certain crucial traits without which he could well face failure. First and foremost is positivity. He has to have a positive and optimistic outlook and have very high self-esteem, because that makes things easier for you, and that makes easier for you to face difficulties, challenges, and tackle them. We've said it often enough, they need to be adaptive. They need to be open to new ideas. They need to be open to new information, and they do not get caught in the rut of the traditional preconceived notions. And they have amazing self-control. Okay, they align their thoughts and their actions perfectly so that it is always leading them towards the goal and the vision that they have set up for the business that they are initiating, running, or expanding. So let's get down to what it's all about at the end of the day. Some tips and some ideas for you to succeed as an entrepreneur. Focus on your customers. That's the primary thing. Define your customer value proposition and identify your target customer. Identify their needs, identify their pain points, identify the challenges that they're facing. Select which of this you want to address when you are developing your product. Or if you have an existing product, understand very clearly which of these challenges, needs are you addressing. Prioritize them and set your focus on conveying and communicating this to all your customers. Design a feedback system. Form a panel of your customers and use that panel at all times. Call them for tea, coffee, snacks, high tea, so to say, and then pick their brains while they are having the pick of the food. Use those customers to get a feedback and improve your product. Focus on your strength at all times. Do not waste time focusing on the competition. You need to know what the competition is doing, be aware, but don't focus on that. They are there, they're going to do their stuff. You need to do their stuff, which is better than their stuff. That's why you need to know what they are doing. Always focus on optimization, not perfection. As I've said in previous episodes more than once, heading for perfection is going to kill your productivity and it can well kill the enterprise also. And when starting from the beginning, think of how and what are the opportunities for you to scale it. Create a support system within your circle, within your employees, if you have any, for creativity and innovation. Make the atmosphere which is open to creativity, and plan every minute detail you can visualize. Okay. The best thing you have to do, and it's a compulsory thing, is to have a super detailed business plan, which includes critical things like who is your target audience, who is your target market geographically as well as demographically, who is your competition, and you need to make sure that you know what they are doing, but don't focus on them. You need to know your marketing strategy and stay focused on it at all times. You need to know your revenue and expenditure projections. You cannot go haywire on that. That will sink you. And you need to, from the beginning, have a cash flow and cash sourcing model. And you need to work that model in such a way that you have at least 18 to 24 months buffer always with you. As I said earlier, don't aim for perfection. Okay? Aim for optimization. And therefore, do not spend an unacceptable amount of time on version 1 of your product. Okay, make the minimum valuable product, launch it, get feedback from the panel of your customers, and then keep improving it. And as I said, customers are important. And anytime anybody will tell you, if you listen to your customers, you are always going to improve and succeed in business. Do not take criticism from customers negatively. There may be some who are outspoken, there may be some who are brash, but listen and understand what they are saying. Forget about the tone of voice or the choice of words. Have frequent interactions with the customers, especially anytime you're making a change, get them. It's time for that coffee break. Okay. So there's some mistakes you need to drastically avoid. Okay, the first of that is do not, and this I've seen everybody do, and that is why it's the first on the list, do not skim or cut down unjustifiably your marketing and branding spend and the effort. It's not only about the money. Do not ignore operational processes, though I would always say do not focus too much on them. Those are things that can be delegated or outsourced. Be precise in your cash flow management. Most startups, most entrepreneurs fail because they don't have the money to continue. There will be constant struggles. Let not those struggles demoralize you. Be realistic in your time commitments. Don't promise something that cannot be done even to yourself. Okay, so respect time. Time is critical. And remember, there is never any overnight success. Finally, some hard-hitting truths when you get it. There will always be self-doubt in your mind right from the time you get the idea. It's natural. There's no harm in it. And when you have such self-doubt, I think the best thing to do is to sit down, take a piece of paper, and write down what your fears are. And then calmly sit down and against each fear, write down how you will resolve it and how you will react when it happens in reality. Celebrate small wins. Talk to other entrepreneurs. There's nothing better than this. Listen to their stories, see what they went through and yet came out of it, and you will find motivation for yourself. You're always worried about facing shame. Okay, you started something, everybody was expecting a lot from you, but for some reason, your venture failed. It happens. And that failed venture does not mean that you are a failure. Okay, it does not reflect on you. People will gossip when you fail. It's okay, let them do it. There's no way you can stop them doing it. But when you realize that the failure is not a reflection on your worth, your capability, you learn from the mistakes that you made. I will say, go out there and start another project. Okay. Another thing frequently I've seen entrepreneurs is loneliness and burnout. As I said, you have to take care of it. Time block, use time management to the best of your ability, and there is no way. Outsource wherever possible. Find assistants, maybe even part-time or freelance assistants who will do some of the work so that you have more time. So, guys, you're all set. Go out there, create a business. Maybe sometime come and talk to me after you started your business. Say, hey, Hemant, I need someone to guide my team. Can you come and talk to them? I'd be more than happy to do so. Now, I'm going to charge you. Okay. So enjoy the rewards. Enjoy. See, the rewards are plenty. Take time off when you want. Go with your family. Go for a vacation as long as you set up your business and are running it. Forget about any holidays for the first couple of years. Okay. Have a great day. Enjoy. Send me your comments and we'll speak to you again day after tomorrow. Thank you.